Okay. Okay, welcome back to Hanger 51. We're going to talk about the K2 Plus. And it's not a winner. I'll get to that in a minute. But the Academy Award, the Oscar goes to the K1C and the K1 Max. These machines just do what they're supposed to do. They print, and they print amazing quality. This baby here is two pieces, not painted. Okay, black uh, black filament on the base, the silk gold on the statue. It's a one piece print. You cut it in half to print two separate pieces, glue it back together, and then you have a base, black base, nice shiny. Well, it's kind of a matte shiny black base, and a very beautiful gold um, uh, statue. And the same gold is on the helmet. This was printed on the K1C also, the whole helmet, and it's printed in. This is bare. This is just bare filament. This is the gold filament. This is not painted. This is just the gold filament. Okay, it was sanded. Well, okay, I cleared it. There's a gold cast clear, and we're gonna get to that in the paint. I'm gonna do a paint video, but this is just the bare filament. So there are layer lines in it that you can't see, but they're there. But I love the color. It's the same color as the statue, and it just came out beautiful. So you print that. I had to put these pieces are glued. You print this in pieces, okay? So the ears are separate. This chin piece is separate here. You have to glue this on. You have to glue the ear pieces on. The helmet itself is one piece and I printed upside down to print it, and then the back piece is separate, so you can get it on your head, because with this in place you can't get it on. Okay, so I put magnets inside of it. I have to put a few more magnets in it. I don't have enough yet, but so this snaps onto the bottom with magnets. Okay, and then the this is what they call the lips. All right, that goes on with magnets. It snaps on with magnets here, like this. And then the face mask is on with magnets. And you just slide this in the front here like this. And it's on. And there you go. And then you got an Iron Man mask. And you can wear it. It fits my head. And I have a fairly big head, so if it fits my head, it'll fit most of you. It's a little tight. I wouldn't, but I just printed it the way I didn't expand or contract that file. I printed it just the size it came, and it fits. So, I got lucky on that one. But just I can't talk enough good about these two machines. But we're not going to talk about them. We're going to this came off the K1 Max. Now this is only printed at 250 because it can't be bigger than 250 to fit on my shelves in the back. So I printed this at 250. This is the Prusa rocket engine that they use for demo and their machine, and it's absolutely perfect. And there's so much detail on this thing. So I printed that, and then I printed this on the Max at full size. So this is 300. This will not fit on the rack, into the bookcase behind me, and neither will this Oscar. Neither one of those will fit on the shelf behind me. And then I just printed a Millennium Falcon on the Max at the full size 300, and it won't fit either. But look at the size of this thing. I mean, this is, and the detail. I'm gonna get close on this real quick. We're not gonna talk much about these. I'm gonna do separate videos on the Max, but I just wanted to show you real quick. So let me switch cameras and show you the quality of this print is just amazing. Look at the detail, the depth. Look, like the guns, for instance. Look at those cannons and how deep into here. It's super deep down in this cavity here, and it just prints all of this so beautifully. The sides, look at the detail on the side. Okay, around the back, and then the top, the vents on the back, all that detail on the very back there. Uh, the cockpit area. Obviously, there's no windows in it, but and then the radar dome. Um, just an amazing, um, beautiful model, and it prints in the stand up position just like that. You just stand it up and it prints. No supports. You don't have to use any supports. It recommends supports. You don't need them. Don't put the supports. But yeah, and that. So these two machines just do what they're supposed to do. They print, and I love it. So let's talk about the K2 Plus because that's the one that doesn't print. It didn't for me. Now that's the problem. Some people get a machine that works, and some of us get machines that don't work. And if you go out and look on YouTube, you're going to probably find as many failed K2 pluses as successful K2 pluses. And there's a lot of different issues going on. The printer has a lot of issues, okay? And if you happen to get a good one, you know, great for you, but the chances are not good you will get a good one. You know, it's a pretty much a 50-50 shot. So I don't recommend you order it right now. Wait. Just give Creality time to get it straightened out. They had the same problem with K1. When they came out with the K1, I didn't experience any of that, thank God. But the K1 was a disaster, I guess. I mean, nothing worked on the K1, and it was just a nightmare for all the people that bought K1s. And then they fixed all the problems, and instead of re-releasing it fixed or just making an announcement that it was fixed, they came out with the K1C. And that all the problems were fixed, and they put a hot end in it so that you can print carbon fiber and call it the K1C, jacked up the price, I guess. Yeah, because it's more expensive than the K1. And but it works now. The printer's perfect. It works beautiful. I've had very little issues with this, and most of the issues I've had with it are my fault, not the printer. The printer's done just doing it what it's told to do. When I tell it, to do something wrong, or I forget to put the build plate in. No, I'm sure none of you have ever done that. You come back to a pile of spaghetti. Yeah, these two machines just do their job. They're fantastic. So I get the K2. I get it out of the box. It's fine. It doesn't look like it's been dropped or anything. So I'm thinking, oh, hey, no broken door. Everything's good. I'm thinking, this is great. I'm very happy. This is great. So I get it out. I set it up. I do not set up the CFS. I'm not even looking at that right now. Don't care about that. Don't plan on doing a lot of multicolor prints. So, but I did want the option. That's why I bought it. I did want the option to be able to do some multicolor prints, but I won't be doing a lot of it. Too much waste, and I don't want to. I just can't stand the waste. So I'll do an occasional, but there won't be a lot of that. But what I did want to print was a life-size batleth like this. Okay, so and this one's under it printed fine, but I'm still painting it. All right, so this is gonna look like chrome. It's gonna look like steel when I'm done with it. But I got dark primer on this side, filler, and then I sanded that and then put light primer on this side. So we've got to do a little more sanding before I paint the silver. That's gonna look like chrome. And then there's 3 grips, one here, here, and here. And as you can see, this is multicolor. I use multicolor filament because it's going to get painted. So it doesn't matter what color filament you use. So I had a bunch of rolls of this that I don't need. So anytime I'm going to print something that's getting painted, as a matter of fact, I used the same, I printed the red helmet in this multicolor filament. Did the same thing because I'm going to paint it. So what difference does it make? So, but I wanted a machine that would print this. That's why I bought the K2. All right, it was the maximum, build volume for the money, multicolor. It had everything. So that's why I bought it. But like I said, there's too many problems with it, and they need to fix it. So, and there's been plenty of guys, like Nathan. There's a lot of people. Uncle Jesse got the worst machine of any of us. His didn't do anything. He had so many problems with his K2. And then Nathan, who builds robots, Nathan Builds Robots channel, he got a good one, and he printed a bunch of stuff, and he just loves the machine, loves it. But he could not get it to print TPU. For you guys that don't know what that is, that's that spongy, rubbery filament. After you're done printing it, you can print a frog or whatever and ball it up into a ball and let go of it, and it just snaps back to a frog. And so you can print a football with it, and it'll actually bounce. And it's a rubber filament. The machine won't print it. And they put a different extruder in the K2. The K1 Max and the K1C have the exact same extruder in them, and they just work. Okay, they pull filament. Okay, the K2 extruder is trying to push filament. Well, it can't push. You can't push a noodle. A spaghetti noodle. You can't put. You can pull it, but you can't push it. It just darts out the side, and that extruder has a spot in it that will allow filament to go sideways out of it, and that's exactly what it does. And it keeps jamming, and you can't print the soft stuff because it won't go straight through. It gets pushed out the side, and then you got to go in there and take it apart. I took it apart. The K2 head, I had it apart 3 or 4 times, and only printed about, tried to print about 10 hours, and I had to take the head apart at least 3 or 4 times to unjam it. I almost never have to unjam these. Every once in a blue moon, but I think I've had this one apart, the K1C, maybe 4 times in 400 hours, at least 400 hours of printing on this machine. And this machine only has maybe 30 hours on it, and I haven't had to take this one apart yet. It just prints. Haven't had to fix this one. It just prints. So after printing a benchy, I printed this benchy on the K2. I got it all hooked up, set up. I put my own filament in. I like this sun gold filament, and so this was what I printed, and it printed this beautifully. And I'll show you why I like this filament. Is if you look at so this is an overhang. This is what that's the front of the boat is just showing you how it prints overhang, and it's beautiful, no problem, no dents, no nothing. The layer lines are very smooth. This filament is amazing filament. I love this stuff, and that's why I printed it. And I printed it hot. I upped the temperature a little bit because this stuff gets shinier and smoother with heat. So I paid the price for doing that. The top came out beautiful, beautiful texture on the top. The smokestack printed perfect. No problems there. The box is perfect in the back. Okay, so where it failed at is, so everybody's print that I've seen, the front windshield always sags. I don't think I've seen a straight one yet. They all sag somewhat. Okay, my anchor holes are sagging just a little bit. The side window here sagged a little bit. Okay. But that's my fault, okay? I ran the heat too high, so that's my. I'm going to take credit. That's my fault. And then it wasn't the machine's fault. And then the back window again, it sagged at the top. Now I don't know what happened on this side, but this side's really messed up, and I don't know what that's. But I don't think it was the machine, honestly. I don't know what. I really don't. If maybe the file is bad, I don't know. But that side looks pretty bad. I don't know what happened there. But overall, I was very happy with this benchy. This first benchy I've ever printed, by the way. I didn't print one on I never printed one on my Ender 3. I never printed one on the K1C. This was the only print that the K2 had that wasn't multicolor. So I went ahead and tried it, and it printed it. So I thought, okay, we're good, because I didn't want to do a multicolor. I wasn't even setting the CFS up. I didn't care about the CFS. I wasn't even setting it up. Don't care. I wanted to print this big backlit. This is the first thing I wanted to print. Okay, this was my. I already had the file. I had already done. Downloaded the the K1 the K2 file, printer, the Creality print files so that I could do a board, a print bed for the K2, and I had it all already sliced and everything ready, just waiting for the machine to get here. So this is the handle. Okay, so the way you print one that big is you have to cut it in half, and then you cut it in half again. And so this is a different one, but I'm just going to use this as a demo. So this is a different batleth cut in half. So this is the middle, right? Here's the grip right here. Okay. Obviously much thinner than this one because it's a much smaller machine and it's a different batleth. But that's what you get. So that's the foot of the big one, okay, on the K2. There it is right there. And then there's obviously going to be another one up here, another, and it's all, there's nothing else around. You're just going to have a pad here, and then two more for the other half, and then the top piece here, the piece that's going to hook to it, that's on the bed. So there's another pad. So there's a total of 10 pads between these, so there's 10 of these on the build plate, okay, printing. And it's printing all 10 and no problem. It's just doing great. And I'm like, oh, right, this is great. It's working. And then the machine just shuts down. The printer head just stops right in the middle of the unit. It doesn't park, doesn't go to home. It just stops right in the middle. The lights shut off inside the machine. But the bed doesn't fall. So the bed still has power to it. The screen has power to it. And the fans are still running. But the machine's dead. The screen does nothing. You can touch the screen. It doesn't do anything. It's lit, but it doesn't work. You can't make it do anything. So you have to turn the printer off, start again. So I reset the printer, and I have it set to do the full calibration on every print. I want it to calibrate every print. So you scrape all of these off the bed, and you start it again. Same thing. And it stopped in the exact same spot. It got to the same part in the print, stopped again. Okay, all right. Well, let's maybe it's the file. I don't know. Let's try something else. So I go to my go-to articulating dragon. I've printed 6 of these so far on the K1C without any problems. So I take the file, I set it up for the K2, and I print it, and the exact same thing. It shuts down in the middle print in the exact same spot 3 times in a row. It made it to this point on the right here. There's a knob of filament, so it gets to here, shuts down, same thing. The head stops, lights go out, fans on, screen's on, not working. And the bed doesn't fall. So there's still power to the bed doesn't fall. But it's just dead. Okay. So I take that one off and I try it again. Same thing. The same spot. The exact same spot. It stops at the exact same spot again. And I'm like, okay. So reset it again. Try it again. Same spot. Right there. It's the nub of filament right there. It stops at the same spot every time. So and I could, you see that nub sticking up right there? That nub right here. There's a bit. That's where the extruder stops, and but the filament keeps coming out because it's hot, and it just balls up right there. Okay, so 3 in a row, fail. All right, I'm going to slice a new one. I'm going to give a new file, slice it again. We'll try it again. And I make it bigger. Since the bed's bigger, I'm going to make it bigger. What the hell? Let's go for it. So I make a bigger one. Well, again, we don't even get into, because it's bigger now, it's just doing the brim. This is all brim. All of this here is brim. This is where it starts to actually print the dragon. this here, the tail, and this is, and then it stops. Same thing. Light shut off, the extruder stopped, the bed didn't fall, screen is on but doesn't work. Same thing. So and that's a whole new file, different. All right. So I do it again, and I put a smaller one this time, and I reslice it again, and it only gets to the brim. Never started printing the Dragon. It gets to the brim, same thing, shuts off. The lights go out, extruder stops, bed doesn't fall, screen's on, it's dead, doesn't work. Okay. So I'm thinking, all right, well, I forgot to, I didn't uncap the camera. I wonder if that's the problem. I'm thinking maybe it's because it can't see. It's stopping the print because it can't see, you know. And I didn't think of that until then. So I uncapped the camera. And I think, so I'm gonna uncap. And you know what? Let's go ahead and set the CFS up. So I set the CFS up. Had a little problem with that, with its little RF reader. You know, it wouldn't even read its own spools. It came with the machine. You know, it read 3 of them. It didn't read the 4th one. I don't know why. I don't like that. I don't need that AI help. You know, I don't need them to tell me how to program the filament that I'm putting in the machine. I don't need that help. So I don't like. Neither one of these machines have RF readers, but they put it in the K2. Don't like that. I hope they get rid of that because I don't need that. And I'll tell you a downside to that is, with that in there, at any time, they can send a file, a new update to your machine that you run, and then the machine won't print. If it's not Creality filament, it won't print it. If it doesn't see that RF tag, nope, not going to print. You got to have the tag. If you don't have the tag, you can't print it. You got to use our filament. Now, of course, we can hack around that, and I hope they realize that we're going to hack around that. If they ever do decide, even Bamboo, same thing, because they're doing the same thing. And if they don't think we're going to hack around that, they're wrong, because we can. It'd be so simple to just take the RF tag out of any roll and put it on the roll you want to print with, and let it think it's printing red when you're really printing yellow. What do you care what the, it just needs to print, okay? So you just make sure you put the yellow in the yellow slot that says it's red. Who cares? Simple. So there's a workaround, but I don't like it, and I hope they do away with it. I don't need an RF tag to help load, to tell my printer what it needs. I don't need that. So I get the whole. I had a little trouble programming this. I had to manually program the last one. That's what's really aggravating, is when it has that capability and then it doesn't even work. So then you're even more frustrated. Okay, this thing's supposed to know what filament I'm putting in it. I'm putting their filament in it that came with the printer. And it doesn't understand, it doesn't read the one, it doesn't know what it is. So I had to manually set that one up. No big deal. Get it all set up. Try to print a multicolor octopus that I thought was really cute. So I get that one printed on the bed and fail. It only did the first layer and fail. So I tried it again and fail. First layer only, failed. Tried again, fail. All right, so that's 9, 10, like 11 fails. The only thing it printed was the bench sheet. It never printed anything else. And I gave up. I'm done. I had to unjam the extruder head 4 times. I haven't even printed 10 hours worth of stuff, and the extruder jammed 4 times. I had to take it apart and clean it 4 times. All right, so the rods on the side are not supported. The bed screws are not supported at the top. They're loose. All right, I don't like that. I think over time of the machine doing a high speed like this, those rods are, doing that, are going to probably put effects in prints, and it's going to get worse as time goes on, because something's going to wear. With those rods bouncing around like that, it's going to wear out the bottom, either the mount for the bearing or the bearing itself or whatever. It's just a bad idea. It needs to be supported at the top. I don't know what they think they're saving with not supporting it, but it needs support at the top. So So I'm not a fan of that. I think that needs to be addressed. Um, the extruder, like I said, it's trying to push the filament, not pull it. The end is too long, so it's trying to push the filament down into the end, and it has a spot on one side of the extruder where filament could push out, and that's exactly what it does. It gets to a point and it pushes out the side, causes the jam. You got to take it apart to clear the jam. It's a nightmare. Okay. And then other people have had other problems too, and they say, well, cutting the spring, cutting the loop off the spring is going to fix it. No, it won't. It ain't going to. Nobody, including even Nathan Builds Robots, could not get the machine, and he loves the machine. He got a good one, and he loves it, but he couldn't get it to print TPU. And it says it'll print TPU, but it won't. I haven't seen anybody yet successfully print TPU on the K2 Plus. The K1 Max, yep. K1C, yep, no problem. But the K2, nope, I haven't seen anybody yet. If somebody has printed it, TPU on the K2, put the link below for me. I want to see it because I haven't seen it. I've looked all over and I haven't found anybody that can print it. And if they can, it's only one person because everybody that's tried, Uncle Jesse, Nathan, Frankie, who else got one of these machines? There was a bunch of my favorite YouTubers. They've all tried it. Nobody could print TPU on it, so it just won't print it. So it's got all kinds of issues. All right, so I gave up. I'm going to take the machine apart. I'm done with it. So I'm going to send it back. So I start taking it apart, trying to get the filament to retract out. It won't retract. I'm like, now what's wrong? Now it won't even retract. What's going on? I assume the print head. It's jammed in the print head. So I push the release and pull the Bowden tube out of the print head, cut the filament, still won't retract. All right, well now what's wrong with it? So I start the next place to check it is at the unit on the back where it does the four, you can put 4 CFSs together for 16 colors. And so I released the two. You can only release the one side. You got to take it apart to get the other side out. So I released the Bowden tube on that side. I cut the filament there, and it still won't retract because that's the side that went into the machine. All right, so it's jammed inside there. That's the problem. It's jammed in there. So I just leave that tube on. I release it from wherever it was going. I forget now. And I release it, cut the filament, leave the tube on the unit, leave the filament inside the tube. It retracted the rest of it out, and then I took the machine apart, boxed it up, sent it back, and I was done with it. I'm not going to be a field tech. I don't want to be a field tech for them. I don't want to be a beta tester for them. Creality needs to get this machine right, and it's obviously not right yet. I think it's going to be a great machine when they finally get all the bugs worked out. I think they need to support the rods on the bed need to be supported at the top. I don't think that's a good idea like the way it is. I think they need to fix that. They need to put a different extruder head on it. The head they have does not work. I don't know why they just didn't keep using this head. This head works great. I don't know why they changed it, but they did. So the new that one's way worse than this one. If you thought you had jams with this head, forget it. I thought it was pretty easy to take apart. I know some people have complained that said it wasn't easy to take apart. I thought it was pretty easy to take apart myself, and I took it apart 4 times. So that wasn't the issue for me, but having to keep taking it apart was the issue for me. How hard it is to take apart was not the issue, but I don't want to have to take it apart at all. That I bought a machine that's supposed to print. This one prints beautiful. This one prints beautiful. I never got the K2 to print. All fails. It never printed anything except this Benchy. That was it. Now this is the Benchy that came off the K1 Max, and it doesn't have any problems. This Benchy's beautiful. I didn't play with the heat. I used filament I don't even like, and it still did a great job. The layer lines are a little more noticeable than they were on the gold, but the arches on the cabin are perfect. The front does have a slight sag. Like I said, they all sag. I haven't seen one yet that doesn't. But the back window's nice and round. No problem on the back window. You know, the anchor holes are perfect. It's just, this is a really nice benchy. You know, the texture on the roof is good. The texture on the bed's good. You know, printed a perfect benchy. So the Max works great. The K1C works great. The K2H or the K2 Plus, no. It was fail. So, like I said, if I were you, my recommendation is let's give Creality some time to fix it. Don't order one now. Wait till they get the bugs worked out of it. The extruder head needs to be fixed for sure. Whether they're going to support the rods or not, I think they need to. I think over time, those things vibrating around are just going to get looser and looser and looser till they either break or you start getting really lousy prints because they're no longer supported securely. Because you can't shake a rod like that for hundreds of hours of printing and expect it to just, you know, handle that. It's not going to. It's going to fail. So I think they need to address that. The cable that Jesse had to replace, you know, he's the only one that put a lot of hours on his machine after going through, I don't know how many different boards he changed. And I mean, that guy's a saint. All the work he did on that machine to get it to print. And then he finally, you know, then the cable failed. So, yeah, I just don't want to be a beta tester on the machine. So I sent it back. I bought the Anycubic Cobra 1S. Cobra S1, whatever it is, with, you know, the combo. So it's coming with the forehead with a dryer in it. By the way, you know, their filament caddy, multi spool caddy has a dryer in it. It's built-in dryer, so you can dry your filament while you're printing. Not before. You can do before also. You can program it to do it before several hours and then start the print. You can do it for a couple of hours, start the print, and let it keep drying. You know, it just does it all. So I ordered that. It's going to be here today. This is Monday, the 25th. I think. Let me look here. What's today's date? No, the 28th. Yeah, the 28th. April 28th, Monday. My machine's supposed to be here today, I think. So look for that video coming up. Make sure you subscribe so you see that video. Also, because I'm gonna review the K1 Max is gonna get a review now. I did unboxings on all of them, including the K2. I don't know if I want to put it up or not. Kind of pointless. You've seen enough of those. This is a tip for you guys. Listen, I don't care what you're unboxing. I don't care if it's a shirt from Kohl's, Target, I don't care what you're unboxing, videotape it. And I'll tell you why. Because if there's a problem, like the machine's got a broken window, broken door, whatever, the fabric and the shirt you unopened is got a snag in it, whatever, you've got documentation to show them. They can't argue with you if you show them a video of you taking it out of the box and it's already broke. Okay, so they're going to fix it. They can't deny it at that point. You've got video evidence that they can't deny. So make sure you what happened here? Yeah, make sure you videotape. It's on your phone. You got a camera on your phone. All right, make sure you videotape it. You know, just stand the camera up. Whatever you got to get somebody to hold it. Whatever you got to do, hold it yourself while you're on whatever. But videotape. It doesn't have to be good quality. And if everything's fine, you just you delete it. Okay. But if you've got a problem, you've got video evidence that the problem came to you that way. You didn't cause the problem. So it's just a good insurance policy to make sure that you don't ever have to argue with them that it came that way. If you got video of it, you unboxing it, and it come out of the box that way, how can they deny it? So just a little tip. Make sure you videotape everything. All right, so that's going to do it, guys. I'm done, you know, giving you my thoughts on the K2. I'm looking forward to the new version of it that's fixed, because I will buy it. once it works. You know, once they've got all the bugs worked out of it and it just prints like these two, then I'll buy it. I'm looking forward to it, but I wouldn't buy it right now. It's too buggy. You know, one of the things somebody said, oh, you have to take the back off, which is like 18 screws to take the back off this thing, and then unplug and replug every single plug on all the boards in the back. You know, they're not plugged in hard enough or something. So you got to unplug all the boards and then plug them back. I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to do that. The thing's supposed to work when it gets to you. And I already knew it wasn't going to print TPU, or I figured they'd fixed it by now. You know, it's been 6-8 months. I thought, you know, well, the machine I get should be fixed. Nope, it wasn't. So until it is, I'm not buying it. I'm going to wait till they fix it. And I've got concrete evidence. They say either they come out with a video saying we fixed it, or they do what they did with the K1 and come out with the K2C plus, okay, and all the issues are fixed. Then I'll buy it. But right now I wouldn't buy it. It's just too sketchy of a machine in quality to rely on. You're going to get a good one for your $1,600, and that's the price including tax. You know, to your door, it's just a couple dollars over $1,600, and I just, you know, I wouldn't risk it. Give Creality some time. Let's see if they get it fixed. Let's see if they come out with a K. I know they came out with 2 new K2s, but they're smaller. And I don't want the smaller volume. I want that big 350 volume. That's what I'm looking for. So I hope they fix this machine and then either do a re-release or just, tell everybody, hey, you know, we took care of all the problems. The new K2 is ready to go. You know, please, we fixed it. Go ahead and order it. You know, and when they do that, or they come out with the K2C plus, like they did with the K1C, then I'll know they've fixed it, or at least I'd hope they'd fixed it. So, but until then, give them some time. I wouldn't order it. It's just the chances of getting a good one are 50-50 at best, and it's not worth it. So that's my thoughts on that. Like, subscribe, comments at the bottom, guys, and keep your eyes open, because going to be doing the Anycubic unboxing and some printing on that one coming right up today, hopefully later today. Going to do a review on the K1 Max here, because I haven't done that yet, and so keep your eyes open for those. And then I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to do some continued videos of the Batleth as I finish it up. So keep your eyes open for all of those. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next review. Talk to you later. Bye bye.